Live on a Friday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. Gibbe is here. Brock is here. Dr. J is here. How you doing, Gibbe?
It's Friday.
It is. It's gorgeous.
The sun's out.
It's gorgeous. Why are we here?
It's a great question.
This is that one of those days where if you had like a universally allotted, like a state mandated in the state of Ohio, like 5 days a year, you can just take off with no notice, and everyone just has to figure it out. This is that day. This is one of those days because we're headed into a stretch.
More than 3 games, we would have lots of Victory Fridays and like 11 Victory Fridays, and you guys would have started being off like 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, last year was unbelievable. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
We had a lot of them.
Not so much this year.
No, less.
Yeah.
Less so. This is one of them, though, because we're headed down the barrel of what appears to be kind of a tough stretch here because we got, it's been beautiful. Yesterday was nice. We're dodging some rain, but it's fine. And then today's nice. Tomorrow looks like it's going to be kind of a mix, depending on where you're at.
I guess
I see
now
77
there's a chance
tomorrow.
for some stuff later on this afternoon.
All right. Let's rely on the AccuWeather folks since they won the battle last week. Here in the lovely Berea, I got nothing. You're good.
I have thunderstorms possible after 3 o'clock.
I got nothing on your radar until midnight.
I have a 60% chance of rain at 3 and an 87% chance at 4.
Where at?
Berea.
Okay, I got none.
That is a hell of a discrepancy.
So that's just last week, though, AccuWeather won, so we'll put it to the test again. We'll see. 80% chance that it rains in Berea?
87.
Today.
Young Brock is confirming that for me.
At what time?
4 o'clock.
All right. At 4 o'clock on AccuWeather, I got a 6% chance of rain in Berea. 6. That's a pretty wide discrepancy for what amounts to 2 hours from now, 3 hours from now.
4 p.m. for the hour, heavy thunderstorms.
Nothing. 5% chance of rain.
Scattered thunderstorms in the 3 o'clock hour.
No, nothing. This is going to be something.
It's a hell of a discrepancy.
Because we did the test last week, and so we'll run it back.
I mean, the closest thing that I even see on radar is down near Parkersburg, Ohio. West Virginia, I
feel pretty strongly that the AccuWeather folks are going to win it again. And feel free to comp my subscription since I talk about it all the time and talk about how great it is. Here's all right. So I got to be in Canton all weekend for the boys lacrosse. So I'm looking at a 69-68, widely separated thunderstorms in the morning, otherwise partly sunny, windy, and cooler. High of 69 and then 68 on Sunday is what they're showing down there.
Yeah, I mean, right now is the warmest it will be till further notice. Like, I've got it dropping. It'll be 70 degrees till about midnight, and then in the 60s, mid-60s, low 60s. Lots of wind tomorrow, 20 to 30 miles an hour, gusts over 40.
Good grief.
We're not even back into the 70s till Wednesday, May 28th. That is untenable.
Allegedly, Gibby. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's what we have to look forward to, kids. That's where we're at.
You could take this weather forecast and
Did we had this story yesterday about Charles Woodson and potentially buying a 0.1%, reportedly buying a 0.1% percentage of yours and mine, Cleveland Browns. And we stumbled on this a little bit yesterday, but I started talking about, is Charles Woodson like a top 4 coolest Ohio athlete? Not necessarily best, because when you do top 4, if you do Mount Rushmore of Ohio athletes, it's a pretty heavy list. I mean,
there's some big
names.
Big
hitters. I mean, you could argue the greatest basketball player, the greatest golfer, the greatest track and field athlete are all Ohioans in history. So the best gymnast, Simone Biles, too. She was born here, right? So, that's pretty tricky. But coolest is, we got Jack, Jesse Owens, and LeBron. I feel like we could hang with anybody, state-wise, on best athletes. But coolest, I think Woodson's on that list in terms of the coolest athletes to come out of the state. And I say that as someone who does a show in Columbus that's primarily about the Buckeyes. But I do think he's on that list. I would say Jesse Owens is on that list. Jesse Owens went to Berlin in front of Hitler and dominated.
Yeah.
That's a dude. That's a dude. I think LeBron's on that list too. The fourth one, I got a lot, and this would be something where you'd have to be our age, and it would help if you had probably if you were from the southern part of the state. But I got a lot of Ken Griffey Jr.
I mean,
he was
the coolest. The kid.
Brock, what's your point of reference on Ken Griffey Jr.?
Oh, not much, he says.
How about Dr. J?
The shoes.
Oh.
See? Dr. J coming up strong there.
He's the coolest baseball player for a stretch of time from the time his upper deck card dropped in '89 until he went to the Reds. His entire time in Seattle, he was the face of baseball. And he was the coolest thing. He's the coolest guy to ever play baseball.
Hat on backwards batting practice.
Of course. Everybody tried to emulate that stance. All of us did. If you were of an age where you were emulating stances, he was the one that you did. But it's a great list.
I mean, Roger Clemens was born in Ohio. He was born in Dayton.
Clemens was? He's definitely not the coolest, but he's I don't think he's not. There's 4 locks on the greatest Ohio athletes. 4 locks. Owens, Nicholas, LeBron. Now the fourth one, you can go a lot of different directions. There's a lot of ways you can go there. There's some unbelievable football players that have come through this state. Tons of Hall of Famers that have come through this state. There's a bunch of great basketball players. The Olympians, like Simone Biles, she's probably on a short list. I mean, she would have to be. She's the greatest gymnast ever. She would be on any sort of that list.
I just looked it up, and Brock reminded me as well. Also born in Akron, one Steph Curry.
Do we claim that, though?
I don't know. I feel like you can make an argument. He was
like
born in a hospital here.
Born here versus, like,
Grew up
Ohioan.
Here.
Like, I don't know. Does anyone consider Curry an Ohioan?
Archie Griffin?
2-time Heisman winner.
Lou Groza?
Sure.
From a coolest standpoint, though, I understand where you're coming from.
Coolest is different. I'll tell you someone who's got a chance to climb up both of those lists. It's not great for us, but the reality is Burrow. Burrow's got a chance. Burrow had the best single season of college football ever. Most decorated season of college football, single season of college football ever. He's the number 1 pick in the draft, and he put the Bengals in a Super Bowl.
Eddie George?
Yeah. Is Eddie from Ohio? I thought Eddie's from Illinois. Do I have that wrong?
Stand by.
I said that without
So it says famous athletes from Ohio. Where's Eddie George? No. This is fake news. He's from Philly.
Oh, Philly. Yeah.
Well, this site sucks. How about something else?
Yeah, I think you got to be. It's one thing to be born here, but then you got to be raised here too. I think that's the other key to it is a little bit of raised.
All right, we're clarifying that.
Yeah, I don't. Eddie's
Charles
not.
Oakley, lots of cool, lots of anger issues.
You think he doesn't? He doesn't. I don't think he crosses over though. Coolest. I'm going Charles Woodson, LeBron. Charles Woodson, LeBron, Jesse Owens. And then the fourth, there's a lot of ways you could go there. Boom Boom Mancini. Pretty cool.
I like Boom Boom.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Pete Rose.
God. I'll tell you, if you do sports adjacent, Paul Newman owned race cars. And there is nobody who walked the planet cooler than Paul Newman did. Pride of Shaker Heights.
I remember I got to meet him at Burke Lakefront Airport when we used to have an open wheel race there.
Yeah. How'd he do?
The best thing that airport was ever good for.
Probably true.
Not wrong.
I wonder why they got rid of that.
I don't know, but it was awesome on the lakefront. Like, and he just happened. I was literally waiting for my credentials. Like, my boss was inside getting credentialed. I was waiting outside on the tarmac.
Yeah.
And this sports car pulls up. Very nice sports car.
Yep.
And he gets out, and I'm like, holy cow. That's the man.
That's it right there.
That's the real deal. That man can do whatever he wants to do and drive wherever he wants. Because I was kind of like, who's zooming around here? Oh, just Paul Newman.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, hi. Very nice.
Yeah, he's cool. I mean, Cool Hand Luke. Come on, man. That's the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dude. So hopefully, we'll see what comes of all of that with Chucky Wood if he can get in the mix and that becomes finalized. But that was pretty cool yesterday. The Browns officially signed third-round pick rookie Harold Fannin Jr. Speaking of proud Ohioan, of course McKinley, Bowling Green, and we'll have a little bit more from him when he goes one-on-one with Z at 2:00 today. So what do we have? 3 of the 7 signed? Is that what it is? I thought I saw that
4,
this morning
because I think we have 3. All right, we have 3. See, Rock knows.
Yeah. Schlesinger's was in, and his was fully – like they're doing that now. The second-round picks are fully guaranteed. I saw Schlesinger, Fannin. Who's the third? Is it Kushan?
I don't have an answer. I know that all the rookies are here this weekend. There's something going on. I saw families, and I was like, interesting. Wonder if there's a certain member of a family member – if there's a family member that'll be here this weekend.
Oh,
Dylan
yeah.
Samson is the third.
Oh, Dylan Samson. Okay.
That's what I thought. Samson signed on Friday, or it was during rookie minicamp weekend.
Okay. There you go. All right. So we'll all of those things are happening. Pretty quiet now. You've got minicamps or OTAs are happening around the league. Minicamps were last weekend. So you had the rookie symposium this week.
So we have it's the final phase of it's not OTAs next week. It's still what are they calling this? Phase 2.
Okay.
And this is like a lot of the instruction. There's some field work and a few other things. But then the week of Memorial Day, on that Tuesday, will be the first OTA. I believe there will be 6 OTAs over 2 weeks. And then that takes us into mandatory minicamp. And I feel like the off-season program has come and gone that quickly.
Well, the thing is, though, is we still have – isn't that like middle of June?
June 10th through 12th.
I mean, that's getting into it. I mean, that you're not – maybe I'm just misremembering, but it seemed to me that the mandatory stuff used to happen like first week of June or somewhere in there, and now it's being pushed further out.
I mean, there were weeks – because I don't think that leads into Father's Day. I think Father's Day is the following weekend. I mean, there were a couple of years where we went till like June 17th, 18th, even like the 19th. It was around there. And now, I mean, they get done and they are out and no one is around until we're back for training camp. And I can't believe it's coming that quick, but the ball –
you're going to blink.
The ball has started rolling down the hill, and it is gaining speed quite quickly.
Yeah, you're going to blink, and it's going to be there.
Yep.
That's the way it's going to be. You keeping an eye on the PGA? I didn't see any of it this morning. I mean, I was watching kind of out of the corner of my eye as I was doing the show, but I wasn't watching closely. I think this thing is falling so flat, by the way. Outside of golf people, I'm not seeing anybody talking about it.
No one. I mean – I had to scroll down the ESPN on my ESPN app. I had to scroll probably 3/4 of the way down the river, which is like where they post all their stuff, to even get an update. I'm like, it's airing on your station. I don't. You're right. I don't think anybody cares.
No, not the non-golf fans.
The leader's name is Johnny Vegas, and that just the fact that it's Johnny Vegas. That's I'm here for all of that.
Yeah, I've seen him just because he's at Memorial. He's one of those guys who you see at the Memorial tournament. But other than that, I mean, like what they need. So DeChambeau has got 3 holes left. He's 3 under on his round, so he's within. I mean, he's 7 shots back of Vegas. Max Homa was 7 under today, but none of these guys are moving the needle. They need one of these guys who struggled. I mean, they need one of the guys who struggled yesterday to make a go of it. You know, they need Scotty and one of those guys, somebody else to do what Homa did and shoot 7 under.
And I mean, Scheffler hasn't teed off yet, but he finished 2 under yesterday. But he needs a 64. Yeah, he needs to make a little run to make life.
And they're out there.
Yeah,
there's 64s out there. Vegas with a 64 yesterday. Homa with a 64 today. So it's certainly out there. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think it's the time of year. I think it's that golf course.
Yeah, you're playing the same old golf courses.
We've seen it so many times this course.
I mean, right now, Spieth's not going to make the cut. The projected cut's at +1. Spieth's at +2.
Oh, yeah.
Matsuyama misses the cut. Shane Lowry is at +2. Ricky Fowler is at +2. Well, Justin Thomas is +3. There were a lot of people that thought he was going to win.
Yeah. Oberg's over there. He's at +3 as well.
+3. He's got a lot of work to do. He hadn't teed off
Koepka
yet. Koepka's
+4.
at +4.
Yeah. It's just void of leader. It's void of it, man. Man, there's poor guys out there, man. This has got to be like the by the way, among the like local PGA, because if you're a professional golfer, you can play in these. So my guy Bob Sowers is playing.
Yeah, we talked about him yesterday.
Yeah.
How'd he do?
I didn't see where he ended up. Let's see.
And then I've got another one to talk about.
So the reason that I brought him up, though, is because there's a bunch of these guys in, and, you know, as it would be, many of them are near the bottom of the leaderboard, these guys who make there. So you find, like, you know, there's guys who are shooting 82. There's a guy shot 82 today, Michael Blau. That's not a local tour guy. That guy's been on tour for a while. He shot 82 today. Do you see who's sitting there at 12 over?
Well, and that's where I was going next.
Yep.
Has there been a bigger fall since he won the Masters than Dustin Johnson?
Buddy of mine I used to produce, we used to do television with down in Columbus. His sister went to Coastal Carolina when Dustin was at Coastal Carolina. And let's just say that when he got that big check, if you would have told me this is how it would go, I would not at all have been surprised. Like, the least surprising thing ever. Probably as talented as anybody of the last, you know, since Tiger. But no, this was very much in the cards, I think.
Hey, what's your guy's name?
Bob Sowers.
Bob Sowers. Sowers?
No, ARD.
Soured. Okay, well, good news. He's not last.
No, he's not. He was.
Will Zalatoris is at +6. Like, what is that?
All right, Soward is. It's not good. He's now he's plus. He's on plus. He's at 10 over. He's 10 over now. +3 on round 2. So he must have blown up in the back half of his round yesterday.
Today.
Yeah, so he blew up in the back half of his round yesterday.
And yet he's still not close to the bottom.
No, he's better than Dustin Johnson.
That's right.
He's better than that. Hey, kids, it's a Mailbag Friday edition of the program. Send your questions into Gibbe at Browns_Daily, and we will answer those coming up at 2:30 on the dot. So get those questions in, and we'll get those answered. Coming up next, Dylan Samson from Rookie Minicamp. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. I should have also mentioned that first segment was your Hot Topics of the Day, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Now we head to the podium. It's presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. New Browns running back Dylan Samson from rookie minicamp.
So what's it been like? I know it's only
Guys are down.
Day or so that you've actually been in the building and everything. What's it been like? Can you describe the process so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot just coming in. Since I got here, we just been going, but opportunity of a lifetime. All the players I met being so welcoming, meeting all the coaches and everybody. So, I'm just looking forward to get settled and getting my footing down.
I know you talked about you're excited to play with Kushan and share that backfield. What's the early relationship been like with him?
Yeah, no, it's been good. You could tell we're going to be able to push each other. As well as the older guys in the room, going to be able to learn a lot from each other, and I'm ready to just learn some more ball. But, me and Kushan, I could tell we'll have a good relationship, and, we kind of see eye to eye on a lot of things. So glad to, be in the backfield with him and the other guys that's there right now.
So did you guys not know each other at all before in college, or did you have a familiarity with him?
I definitely knew of him just because he played in the SEC. And obviously Ohio State, and then we got a chance to talk a little bit at the Combine. But we were kind of all to ourselves at the Combine, but really got a chance to really talk to him now that we're here, and, really seeing sides of him that I didn't see before. So, it's good to, get to know him.
What do you think the two of you together can do for this Browns backfield?
Yeah, if we go out here and handle business throughout training camp, and there's also some guys who've been here, so it's a competition all over. But I think this is like the blueprint of the league, the best way it works with running backs. It's a long season, so you want as many people as you can to go in there and split reps and, do good for the team, that keeps everybody fresh. You see it all across the league, and I think we have an opportunity to do that here.
And then how would you describe yourself as a running back?
Yeah, I just feel like I'm a dynamic runner with a strong, mentality when I approach the field. I take every day like it's my last day. I give my all for my teammates, myself, and everything I've been through before this, So any days I'm struggling, I always remember my why. And I have the ability to do a lot of things, which I'm hoping to showcase here and get better here, route running, catching, maybe some extended running plays, but just looking forward to the opportunity.
As you take the field for the first time today, just what are your expectations as you begin this process now, going from college to being a rookie in the National Football League?
Yeah, I think it's just finding my process, and the main thing for me right now is just making sure I understand the playbook. If you don't understand the playbook, you have no shot. So, whatever I can do, study with quarterbacks, study with, other running backs in the room, just to make sure I'm familiar with it, walk through it, because you want to be out here confident. And that's what I want to do each day is take strides, improve a little part of my game, ultimate until I actually get a chance to work on the football side of it in training camp for real.
Dylan, what's the message that coaches have given you guys to what they expect this weekend?
Yeah, man, the message is clear, don't be scared to go out there and mess up. This is our opportunity, and we have to take advantage of a full opportunity, because we got to make the team. Everybody that's here right now still hasn't made the team. Rosters are going to get limited and cut, and it's our job to make the team and find a role. And this is the first step for us. There's already vets here, and that's already a disadvantage. So just go out there every time we put out cleats on the grass and just give our best and take advantage of this opportunity.
Dylan, did you get to know Jimmy Haslem at all while you were at Tennessee? And if so, what was that relationship like? And then have you seen him around here yet?
Yeah, the Haslem family, they would come to practice. Somebody would take him on a golf cart, and I would talk to him really much every day. Every Wednesday he came. It was like a little routine. We would be doing kickoff. I catch jugs. I walk over there. I go talk to him. And he'll be like, "Do you remember Coach General Nealon? His favorite player was Gene McNever, and you broke his record." He was like, so think about that. But, it was nice, getting a chance and really full circle. Coach Heupel told me, the talks and communications they had. So, it really just shows you, how you treat people and how you go about your life. It'll come back.
Dylan, you mentioned remembering your why. What is that for you?
Yeah, my first why is my faith, really. I think we're all have certain, talents that we're, gifted with, and the profession that we choose to go in, we have to find a way to affect change positively, and I'm ready to do that any way I can in this organization, on this team, in this, in this city, in this country, Our outreach can't be stopped, thanks to y'all. We're put on a national platform, and I'm trying to make the most positive light of that possible, and also just the people who came before me, like people like my grandfather, who's not here to witness a lot of things that I know he would have loved to see, and a lot of people who were close to me who just aren't here. So, yeah, that's my why.
Did you return kicks at Tennessee?
Yes, I did.
Dylan, what has Deuce Staley been like working with so far, and advice that he's given you even in these first couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a passionate coach. I can tell he loves the game of football, but definitely a coach that, you got to accept, and he's going to push and challenge us to be our best. And, I'm ready for that because I'm ready to give my best and grow to, greater heights.
Hey, Dylan, I was talking to your running backs coach, and he talked about your vision, and that's what he thinks separates you. Do you agree that that's one of your strengths, and why is that so good for you?
Yeah, I do think it's one of my strengths, and I hope it's something I could develop here, running some more outside zone plays and stuff like that. But I just think it's, to me, watching certain players over the years and really just understanding that the game is about feel, and watching film.
What was your reaction when the Browns took Shadur? And what are the early interactions with him been like? Yeah, man, I could tell real humble. It was crazy because he got drafted after me, and we was kind of like saying, I bet, like, watch they end up taking Shadur. And it happened. So, I mean, I really just feel like it's a competition everywhere, Dylan Gabriel's a good quarterback. It's good to have, rookies, together because we're working for the same thing, pushing each other at the same time. So, like, it's competition that we're not alone in this.
How do you feel like the scheme you're coming into fits your running style? Yeah,
I feel like I have the ability to run in a lot of different schemes, whether that's inside zone, outside zone, just having that feel as a running back. And I take pride in just working on the details. So I'm ready for that, and I'm really ready for, I think this coaching staff really wants me to be able to play out in space and do things like that. So I'm looking to showcase that and work on that.
How did the grind of playing in the SEC, where it was every week, and prepare you for when you're going to face the NFL?
Yeah, man, I talked to so many, VFLs or just vets in general, or people who play in the SEC, and like, man, they just tell me like it's the closest that it gets, and it really prepares you, And I tell a lot of people that, this league it gives no grace, even some of the teams who are considered bottom SEC teams. If you don't bring your A game, like, you're not beating them, And you feel every single game of an SEC schedule. You got to play all 4 quarters no matter who you playing. So I think it just, you got to develop a dog mentality, or you won't last.
Tommy was catching a ball out of the backfield. Where do you feel like your game's at?
Man, I feel very confident in that. Something that I wasn't able to showcase a lot at Tennessee, but I feel like I was able to showcase what could be at like my pro days and at the combine. Anytime I could run routes, I ran routes. And I'm going to be looking forward to getting advice from, receivers here. They have great receivers here. Obviously, I played with Cedric Tillman, so there's a relationship there. But, yeah, I'm looking to be as versatile as I can.
Tommy was at Alabama. You've been in your second year at Tennessee. Did he mention anything about, that time, what he saw? Because, you guys obviously play Alabama every year. Did he mention anything about, seeing you at that time and in kind of, his memory recollections of that?
Who you talking about?
Tommy Reese.
Nah, we didn't talk about that yet. But I know there's a lot of Bama people here, so I probably will get around to talk about that and stuff.
How eager were you to get that lead back role last year after coming off the bench the previous 2 years?
Yeah, I think it's something you're not seeing too much in college football. Some people leave for like good reasons, and some people just chase money. But that has nothing to do with me. I felt like that the things I did my freshman and sophomore year playing behind Jay Wright and Jabari, I learned a lot. My sophomore year I was able to gain trust, really play as the RB1 in some games in certain situations. So, it was my first time starting since high school. So I was ready, and I have no problem because I don't have a lot of damage and miles to my body sharing time, so I'm fresh, I'm young, and I got a lot of time to give.
And when you watch Kushan, how would you compare and contrast your styles? Do you think you're a lot different or similar?
I don't think we're as different as people think. I think he has a lot of explosive playability. Definitely a bigger back, but I see him able to catch the ball. He's definitely been in a scheme where he's ran those outside zone, inside zone plays. His vision is great. I think we compare in a lot of things, but it's also that balance, to where that we could complement each other at the same time.
I know you have some background connections with some guys like Kushan, but it's early here. Have you made any connections? Have you gravitated towards anybody, players, coaches, vets?
It's just been hard, because the vets were in the building yesterday, but they were in and out. So I didn't get a chance to see Sard, but yesterday I was able to get around the O-line. They was cooking crawfish, and I was like, wow, I just came from Louisiana. That's crazy. I feel like I brought it with me. But, it just felt, comfortable. I said, I feel like I'm home now, and they was like, you are home, So, just to feel like it's a welcoming environment, because, people could be, all type of ways. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to make all these experiences.
You mentioned that relationship with Sard. Just when you got drafted here, I guess, what went through your head about that? Did he reach out to you, and how welcoming was that, knowing that you already knew somebody here walking in the first day? Yeah,
well, really after the combine, I was doing some more training before pro day, and I was training with Sard and a couple NFL guys, a small group with a trainer I know. And it's my first time seeing Sard in a while, because Sard's he's low-key, and I respect that. But it was good to see Sard, and we were just talking about the season. He was talking about his experience. He was like, it's crazy because teams who you think you'll get drafted to, he's like, I got drafted by the Browns, and, I didn't even talk to them once, So, but it was crazy we had that conversation because, I got a chance to have a formal meeting with this organization at the Combine, but really didn't talk to them since, And so when I got that phone call and it was crazy, just a lot of things going on. I was like, hey, just after Kushan, oh, shoot, but it's a lot of opportunity, But, yeah, I immediately thought of Sard, though, and, it's definitely a familiar face to have.
Last one.
Do you think your physicality is underestimated because people talk about focus on your speed, the speed aspect of your game?
I think my physicality is underestimated just because I'm considered an undersized running back, not even because of my speed. I don't think my highlights really showcase my true game, I take pride in the 5 to 6, 7 yard runs that I'm able to, make consistently. What I was able to do in the SEC, I'm looking to, hit the ground running here and be able to, do that, still be able to break tackles efficiently. But that's the thing that keeps the chain moving, I know everybody wants to see the explosive plays, but these are the plays that wear teams down, and then you get explosives in the third and fourth quarter. And, sometimes you just got to be patient.
He's a really likable kid. Here's a couple of things about Dylan Samson that are noteworthy to me. Number one, he's 20 years old. So he played 3 years at Tennessee, and he is not even 21 years of age yet. So from an age standpoint and a growth standpoint, there's a lot still to come. It's rare you see a guy play 3 years, and he's 20. So he's obviously a very, very young player. The other thing, and he alluded to this when he was talking about Mr. Haslem and Mr. Haslem talking about General Neyland and all of that, his 22 touchdowns this year broke the Tennessee school record, which was held by Gene McEver. That record stood since 1929. It is rare that you find a college football record that dates back to the 20s. The 1920s.
Especially given how many games they play now.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. So 22 touchdowns this year at Tennessee for him. I don't think there was any beating Ohio State for Tennessee that night down in Columbus when they played in the college football playoff, but Samson not being available for much more than the start certainly did not give Tennessee much of a chance in that one. First year at Tennessee as a freshman, as a 17-year-old, 397, 6.8 yards a carry. Second year, 604, 5.7. And then last year, 1485, 5.8, 22 touchdowns as the bell cow back.
That's
19
awesome.
receptions, 141 for him.
And a great compliment to Judkins.
Very much.
And throw in Jerome Ford in there. Like, it's a really, really nice running back room.
Yeah, it's interesting the path they take. Judkins, it's funny, like people I think Samson is more the pass catcher, but actually Judkins caught more balls in college, even last year at Ohio State, than Samson caught at Tennessee. Judkins carries per year, and this was a big reason why he went to Ohio State. As a freshman at Ole Miss, 274 carries, 1567, 5.7 an attempt. As a sophomore at Ole Miss, 271 carries, 1158 and 15 touchdowns. And then last year at Ohio State, just 194 attempts in 3 more games. He had 80 less carries, still had over 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns for the Buckeyes for Kushan there. But yeah, I mean, he's 20 pounds. Kushan's just bigger. He's 2 inches taller and he's 20 pounds heavier. So that's kind of what it is. But he's really, both those guys are really likable.
Yeah,
they really are. It's a lot to easy.
They
to
both
root
have hit it off. I can't tell you how much Deuce Staley loves both of those guys.
Yeah.
And I think based on what Kevin Stefanski wants to do, going back to his offensive identity, he's going to run the football.
Yeah.
And you have 3 options, legitimate options, of guys that can contribute.
Yeah,
in that backfield.
They fixed that room in the draft. They got it all set. That should be a really fun group to watch. We will go around the sports world coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Fun to your Fannin with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today. Get 50 back in bonus bets. You place that first wager of 10 or more. Ballybet is official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time to go around the sports world. The NFL owners are set to meet in Minneapolis next week and a vote on changes to the playoff seeding and the tush-push ban per SI's Albert Breer. The Lions made the proposal that the 7 teams that make the playoffs will be seeded by record rather than by giving the top seeds to division winners. Winning the division would be the first tiebreaker for teams with the same record.
There's also conversation that they are going to discuss reseeding after the wild card round.
Okay.
So it's interesting. That would not be a reward for winning your division if you were in a gross division.
No, but I think that's fine. I don't care about that.
I know Zagura wasn't. But.
No, I know. He likes how you get rewarded for winning your division. But so what difference would it have made last year? So last year in the AFC, the 7 teams that made it, Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Houston, Chargers, Steelers, and Broncos. So if they did it just by straight record last year, the 1 would have been Kansas City. The 2 would have been Buffalo. They would have played Denver, which they did, didn't they?
I believe they did, yes.
Yeah, Baltimore would have played Pittsburgh.
They did.
And, well, the only thing I don't know is I don't know. Yeah. And Houston would have played the Chargers. The difference would have been it just would have been in L.A. But it would have been the same last year.
Maybe that goes a different way because didn't the Chargers lay an egg?
They did, yeah. But that's the only change is that game would have been in Los Angeles. Now, in the NFC, the Lions would have remained the 1. The 2 would have been Philly, which is what they were. The 3 would have been Minnesota. So Minnesota was the 5, so Minnesota would now be the 3.
And you got a home game.
They would have. The 4 would have actually been Washington. Washington was actually the 6. The 5 would have been Green Bay. They were actually the 7. The 6 would have been Tampa Bay, and the 7 would have been Ramit. So Detroit would have had the bye. Then Philly would have played Ramit in the first round. They ended up playing them in the divisional, right?
Divisional round.
Yeah.
And if the weather wasn't bad, I
Who knows?
feel like the Rams might have gotten them.
Yeah. The 3 then would have been Minnesota would have been the 3, and they would have hosted Tampa Bay. And then the Commies and Packers. Commies would have hosted the Packers. That's how that would have worked. You know what I would do? I said this to Siciliano yesterday when he was on. I would just have 8 teams in. No buys. 8 teams in.
I think if you go to 18 games, that's a legit.
18 games. I mean, I would go back to 16. I know they're never going to do that. But if you go to 18 games, go to 18 games, go to 8 from each conference. Total of 16 make the postseason. Half the league makes it. It's more games that matter. And it's not such an incredible advantage for the team that gets the 1 seed. Because they're not all playing the same type of schedule either. So, I mean, how many years did New England benefit from that division they were in and get the 1 seed?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't benefit the Lions to be the 1 seed this year.
It didn't. Sometimes it doesn't. But
the
Lions were also
in the divisional round. Right?
The Lions were also, because of their injuries, 15-2 was not what they were by the time they got to the postseason. I mean, they were down everybody at that point. But I don't know. I think if you're going to go to you could just go to a true balanced 8-8 and 4 playoff games in the week 1 round and away you go. I don't know. That I would probably do that. But I like the idea of reseeding it. I know Z doesn't. He likes the award for winning your division. I just think we're getting further and further away from that being something that resonates. I don't know that it matters anymore.
If you're 9-8 and win a division, I just don't think you should be rewarded with a home game if someone goes 13-4.
I agree. And that's what happened to Minnesota last year.
Yeah.
Minnesota went 13-4 and they're on the road. Tampa Bay went 10-7 and they're at home. Rams went 10-7 and they're at home.
Yeah.
All right. The other big rule change is regarding the tush push. They just can't leave this thing alone. The proposal says an offensive player can't immediately at the snap push or throw his body against a teammate who is lined up directly behind the snapper and receive the snap to aid him in an attempt to gain yardage. I just think if you don't like it, stop it. And if it were so easy, more would do it. It just seems silly. Like Philly can do it really well because they have a quarterback who can squat 7 billion pounds.
I was just going to say, have your quarterback squat more than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, you want to do it. Like, just do that.
Yep.
A couple other tweaks in the works. Teams will be allowed to declare and run an onside kick at any point in the game instead of just the fourth quarter.
Great, but
so
I hate that they have to declare it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think you should be able to kick any way you want whenever you want to do it.
Yeah.
It's up to you to prepare for it. I hated that. I love the old onside kick when you didn't know if it was coming or not.
How many we got a few times over the course of the time I've been doing this to kick off the second half.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the most famous one, Sean Payton in the Super Bowl against the Colts. Flipped the Super Bowl. Another thing they'll be voting on is whether or not NFL players can compete in flag football at the 2028 Olympics.
I bet this gets tabled, but I bet there'll be a lot of conversation.
Well, do you think players really want to do it?
Yeah.
You do?
I do. I think they're all on board.
The problem is it's going to be right in the middle of camp. It's August. The Summer Olympics are in August.
Yeah. I don't know how you work around that. Like, hockey goes on a stoppage. You can't stop the preseason.
You can't stop preseason. No, for guys to screw around playing a sport
and
that's
the first time someone gets hurt, then what?
Well, like Robert Edwards in the sand. Now they're not going to be playing in the sand, but
yep.
Yeah, I think it's silly. I don't think it's an Olympic. I don't think it should be an Olympic sport. I don't think enough of the world plays it. All right, here are the 10 most expensive NFL games according to the average ticket price on TickPick. All right, I've not looked at this.
Good.
I've not looked at this list.
Great. I've looked at it.
You have?
I'm ready for you.
All right. First thing that I'm going to do on this, if I'm going to guess this, is I'm going to go to the Dallas Cowboys schedule. Because I think
it's probably a pretty good idea.
I think that the Dallas Cowboys will be it's a tough ticket.
These are the top 10 get-in prices.
All right. So you got to think about demand. Oh, they're at the Raiders. Have they been to the Raiders? Has Dallas been to the Raiders? Do we know that? Not that you guys would know that. We're not doing Cowboys Daily.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
All right.
I think it's their first time.
They did a preseason game. So this is the first time that they've gone to Vegas. That's my guess.
That would be number 1.
Is it?
On your top 10 list. The average get-in price, $673. Not opening day.
There you
go. Not a rematch with the Chiefs.
No. First trip to Vegas. Oh, baby. And that's Monday Night Football on November 17th. So that's the week before we go there because we go there the 23rd, right?
23rd.
Yeah. So Dallas at Vegas is one. I was smart to go Dallas. Dallas at Philly on third. That's the opener.
Yep.
Okay. Philly at Green Bay, Monday Night Football, November 10th. Dallas at Chicago. Small stadium. It's early in the season. It's Bears.
I don't know about that one.
That's a big city to just have one team.
Is that the home opener for the Bears, maybe?
I don't know.
Brock's looking that up.
Here, I got it for you. On the 21st? No, they open at home against the Vikes.
Okay.
They're on Monday Night Football week 1 against the Vikings.
Not sure that's a great idea. By the way, the more excerpts that come out about in Wickersham's book about quarterback and his dad, woof.
Here's the deal, though. It's probably everything that the Mannings did.
Sure.
And nobody heard about it because nobody talked. I still don't understand why they talked to him.
Why would you talk while you're playing?
Why would you talk while you're playing? Why would you talk once you knew what you were getting into? Why would you think it would be a good idea to share all of this publicly? I mean, it's just a huge fire that they got to put out. I think Ben Johnson handled it pretty good. The other thing I would tell you, though, is that his experience as a college quarterback running that type of offense is very common. Where I don't. He doesn't know how to watch film. Have you guys ever watched a USC game? How much
Not-
USC football have you watched?
Not that detail.
How about Oklahoma when Lincoln Riley was there?
Yes.
Okay, this is what I'm building now. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. What I'm building is a replica of Lincoln Riley's play sheet. It's this big. It's a piece of paper this big, and he holds it like this, and he calls the plays off it. There can't be more than 20 plays on it.
Isn't that the play card for like every Big 12 team, though, I feel?
Well, every team that runs this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lincoln Riley, it's this, it's like that. And so that's it. That's all he's got. And so if you're Caleb Williams, remember when Jackson Dart with Gruden?
Yeah.
When Gruden's like, give me your snap count. And he goes, that's it. And Gruden's like,
he lost
what do
his
you mean?
mind.
He goes, you've been clapping for 4 years? He goes, you have a dummy count? And he goes, yeah, it's this. That's it. So most of these quarterbacks, our guy Shadur's in a similar boat. Dylan Gabriel's probably in a similar boat. Caleb Williams was in this boat. Anybody who plays in that type of system, Shadur's a little different because Shermer had some pro-style stuff in it. But anybody who looks over and off the cards and then picks the play and then they just go to the line and snap it. So these guys, I'm going to try to, this is the best way I can describe it. It's never been easier for them on the field to transition from college football to pro football. There are a lot of similar on-field maneuvers, play calling, things that you're expected to do. Off the field and mentally verbiage, it's starting from scratch. They have almost nothing in common.
Correct.
So it's how quickly can you pick up on the verbiage, how quickly can you pick up on all the things you have to do mechanically to run an NFL huddle, to call a play at the line of scrimmage, to have audibles. The football's the easy stuff for these guys. The football looks the same now. It's the rest of it. So that wasn't that surprising to me that Caleb had that experience at all. It just isn't. But yeah, I don't understand why you would ever do that. All right, what do we have here? Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes hosting a Sunday fun day at an Airbnb in Kansas City where 4 fans and their plus ones will compete against him in various backyard games on June 1st. Fans can request to book for free through May 20th. Chipping golf balls into floating rings in a pond, various soccer drills, throwing footballs through hoops, cornhole, beer pong. The fine print says the game will not be played with alcohol, even though they can call it beer pong.
It's not beer pong.
No,
man.
it's not. My guess is they do
Wheat
with
pong.
beer. So this is something he's doing with Airbnb.
Yeah.
He's like an endorser. That's
pretty great.
Yeah. That's a decent way.
I mean, I feel like we should put Zagura in an Airbnb. Zagura is like the king of everything.
Dude, he
Just
is going
ask
to
him.
I'm going to tell you what. He's going to with a month from now, he's going to be like Uncle Baby Billy with those kids, and he's going to have a Sola, the German nanny that he had. He's gonna have that whole operation. He's going to be Uncle Baby Billy holding up Baby Z for the nanny. That's what's coming on that side of things. All right.
We haven't heard from him.
I have. Yeah, I have. I heard from him this morning.
But we haven't heard from him since Naked and Afraid
I don't know
started.
I don't know that he's there.
It's got to be a beautiful day to drive up the coast. Although you know what? I wonder did he get in golf yesterday? It stormed like crazy there last night. I think Beyonce was playing Soldier Field. It got delayed.
Yeah, I don't know. It would depend on where it was, I would think. Yeah.
I think that's.
But he's en route because tomorrow's when Naked and Afraid, or tonight.
starts
Naked and Afraid
the
starts
festivities.
tonight, and then, that's tomorrow morning would be the one. When's he fly back? Sunday, or is it Monday?
I think he's on the air Monday here.
We sure?
Well,
we'll see. We'll
if
see
not,
how all
you
that
better
goes.
Find a studio there.
All right, second hour of the program up next. Don't forget, it is a Mailbag Friday edition. Get your questions into Gibbe at Browns_Daily. We will answer those at 2:30. Speaking of Z, he goes one-on-one with Harold Fannin Jr. Coming up next, you'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Single game tickets are on sale now. From now through Saturday, tickets purchased through the Browns' primary ticket marketplace will be fee-free. That is courtesy of Huntington National Bank. That's right, fee-free. You can grab tickets for all the best matchups at Huntington Bank Field. Visit browns.com/tickets for offer details and to purchase your tickets today. And now here is Z, one-on-one with our new tight end, Harold Fannin Jr.
Very happy to be joined now by one of the newest members of your Cleveland Browns, tight end Harold Fannin Jr. Harold, first of all, congratulations. I'm sure this has to be a dream come true for you. And now here you are, a Cleveland Brown. So welcome to Cleveland.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate you having me.
What's this been like for you? Because, you're playing football, and then all of a sudden you're like, now you're not playing football, but everybody's evaluating everything you do. You're running, you're lifting, you're doing all these things. You have all these visits. Then you get drafted. Boom, you're ushered right in here. It's a whirlwind. It's all exciting. But now you're here to play football, which is what you do. It gets to start today. What's this whole kind of draft process and then to get to this moment where you really start your NFL career been like for you?
Yeah, I'll say it's definitely been long. I mean, it kind of just like a blink kind of just went by. But obviously, man, I'm just glad to be back playing football, glad to be in the building, just ready to go out there and play.
Playing at Canton McKinley, now a Cleveland Brown, is that something that's just kind of wild to you?
It's most definitely wild, man. I used to watch them on TV, local and stuff like that, and then be thinking, like, that's crazy that I'm actually here now.
What does this moment mean for not only for you, for your family, and I know everything that you've gone through with your sister and how close you guys were. What is it just to kind of make a true dream come true and carry on that legacy?
Yeah, man, I definitely say it's more of like a team thing when it comes to me and my family. Yep. All they support and stuff pouring into me. I definitely say that it's kind of like we made it. It ain't like I made it. It's like we made it. We finally did it. Our dreams came true in a way.
They did, and an improbable dream, right? If you think about it, no star recruit. Go there, you've been a safety, and now you go. Your coach says, you're going to come to Bowling Green. We're going to make you a tight end. And now you are picked number 67 in the 2025 NFL Draft. You had over 1,500 yards last year. You were the MAC Offensive Player of the Year. Had one of the best seasons in the history of your position in college football, if not the best. I mean, how do you kind of process where you were when you're a senior at Canton McKinley to where you are right now?
Man, you can't even really process it, but I really just want to say, obviously thank you to all my, every coach, that helped me get to where I am today. Because they really was the ones pouring the confidence in me to go out there and play and be at my best. When
did you realize, like at what point in your career at Bowling Green were you like, okay, I can play in the NFL?
I definitely say it was, I always kind of felt like that. We play against the bigger teams, you play against the ranked guys. You like, I feel like I ain't that far off. But it kind of clicked when I was like on the John Mackey watch list. I was like, okay, I feel like I might have a shot at this, really.
Yeah, and then last year you go out there, you have a game with, 17 catches, you have over 1,500 yards, and then the games that everybody, talk to the scouts and anybody who watch you, you know what two games they're going to talk about, Penn State, Texas A&M, and then to go in those situations and show not only do you belong, but running away from people, making plays. Was that after those games, did you say, okay, there's no doubt I can do this?
Yeah, definitely after those games, people start, you end up on social media like, hey, who is this guy? So, I mean, definitely after that, hey, man, just put everybody's radars on, really.
You know who you remind me of when I watch you on tape?
Who?
Antonio Gates.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, yeah.
You got similar running styles. You got similar kind of styles, but, I mean, what a heck of a career that would be to have Antonio Gates, Hall of Famer. Did you model your game after there are tight ends that you like to watch as you have kind of progressed in your career?
It's funny, I actually didn't really watch tight ends other than you might see the Patriots because they used to go to Super Bowl all the time.
Sure.
So I used to always see Gronk. So I thought in my mind that's a true tight end. In my mind, he's the best tight end I ever seen on TV. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. When you said you didn't watch, did you watch receivers?
Yeah, I used to definitely watch Antonio Brown. He was definitely a guy I used to watch. Yeah,
okay.
Really liked him. Yeah.
So when I was going through it, last year you basically were in line about a third of the time, slot about a third of the time, and then out wide about a third of the time. Yeah. So you have that's part of the receiver skill set that you're talking about, to be able to slot and then obviously to be out wide. What do you like about kind of that versatility? And I know Kevin Stefanski is very excited about the versatility you're going to bring this offense.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. Definitely get the mismatch that, that we want. It's kind of the thing with me. Put me anywhere. You know what I mean? We get the mismatch we want. We really make it happen for real.
A lot of 12 personnel is going to be on the field this year, which you're already smiling about. The idea of having you and David Njoku, if they want to match that with nickel, we're probably going to run all over them. They want to match that with base, they're not covering you guys. So it really gives kind of, and you mentioned Gronk back in the day, they had 2 very good tight ends in New England, gives that strategic advantage because you guys can run a lot of stuff with your ability to flex out that defenses may think, oh, it's 12, they're going to be in these looks, and then all of a sudden you're out there at the X. That's exciting stuff. Now, tight end, you have to learn a lot. Because you need to learn everything in the run game. You need to learn everything in the pass game. You need to learn some pass pro. You need, obviously, the run blocking. And then now you're probably going to learn some receiver stuff as well. How do you, and I've heard you absorb information like a sponge, how's that part of it been going for you just in terms of, and I know you're just getting started, but absorbing everything and all the things you're going to be asked to do?
Yeah, it's definitely going smooth right now. All I got to do is just, keep in contact with my tight ends coach. Any questions I have, just ask them, just kind of just keep building our relationship together. And pretty much, we're going to ride this thing out and make it work.
No doubt. And last year's tight ends coach, Tommy Reese, is now the offensive coordinator, so obviously very familiar with what that position is going to do here. What's it been like kind of meeting all the coaches, meeting Coach Stefanski, meeting Coach Reese, and everybody getting you ready here?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely dope, man, seeing them on TV and actually get to meet them in person. They're definitely good people, nice people. My family met them and everything. My family love them now and stuff like that. But, yeah, definitely dope experience.
Get to get on the grass today. What is it that you hope to accomplish kind of here in this rookie mini camp to kind of like really kind of start things moving for you in your NFL career?
Really just get out there and just prove it to myself, just keep proving to myself that, I belong, and keeping people wrong and stuff like that.
Have they already talked to you about blocking?
Of course. I play tight end. We always going to talk about blocking.
I know, but it's fun to be a receiving tight end. That's the glamour of the position. But, you got a guy in your room in David Njoku who kind of went out of college. You guys actually have a lot of similarities. So when he came out of college, he led the FBS like you did in yards after the catch as a tight end and also missed tackles per reception as a tight end. So you guys are similar that way. When he came out, not much of a blocker, has become one of the most dominant blockers in the league. So it's one of those things that can be learned. But you're right. Yes, you are going to be asked to do it. And there are going to be times in practice where you're probably going to be blocking Myles Garrett. That's going to be fun, though. Listen, iron sharpens iron, right? So that's going to get you ready. It's not going to get any tougher on Sundays than it would be blocking Myles Garrett.
Right, definitely right about that.
Yeah. All right, what's one thing you want Browns fans to know about you? When they see Fannin on the back of your jersey, they see you out there, what is it you want them to think about Harold Fannin? Not just the football player, but Harold Fannin, the person.
I instantly start thinking about my mom, but, I'm a very respectable person. I'm a very chill guy. I'm not really, out loud going. But, I just want everybody to know, man, I'm a very loyal guy. I love playing football. And, I'm happy to be a Browns.
Well, we're certainly happy to have you here. It's great talking to you. We'll do this many, many times, and excited to see you start your NFL career today when you finally get on the grass, put that uniform on as a Cleveland Brown.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, good stuff from Z and, of course, Harold Fannin Jr. there. Speaking of Fannin, Todd McShay's been going through with deep dives on a lot of these draftable players. He did one on Fannin. We want to have a listen to it. Here's Todd McShay on Harold Fannin Jr.
Harold Fannin.
Yes, sir, Tom.
Bowling Green State University. Let me tell you a little bit about Fannin.
Is it state? Is it Bowling Green State?
BGSU.
Oh. I always call them Bowling Green, man. That's interesting. Go ahead. No, you're right. I'm sure you're right.
I'm lending a little love.
Yeah, I'm learning today.
Thing I love first, like with Fannin, it's ball skills, right? It's coming in, and I trust him catching the football. 2.3 drop rate, 94th percentile last year. Okay, and actually the last 2 years. It's just who he is. He's going to catch the football. He's not the biggest. He's not like huge catch radius in terms of like a 6'6" guy, but he catches everything in his neighborhood. And the second thing is, it's almost like watching, I don't know, it's not a running back, but it's like a little bit like a bigger back who's like in space. It's just smooth and comfortable and a feel. He just has a natural feel that you don't normally see with tight ends, right? With the ball in his hands after the catch. So, and it got proven too when you start looking at, going to PFF and some of the numbers, like, he led all players that were invited to the combine in missed tackles forced on receptions with 34. That's more than Luther Burden. Like second on the list was Luther Burden. So that tells you like what he can do after the catch, right? So here's
watch the Penn State tape, man.
Oh man.
He put up numbers against good competition.
Was it Texas A&M too, right?
It wasn't A&M. There was another big school. I think it was A&M.
I think it was A&M. remember looking right on the screen.
I'll double check while you're talking.
Okay, so we know he's going to catch the football, and we know he can create after the catch. Okay, and then I think about Cleveland, and this is why I hesitated for a minute. I'm like, oh, they've got David Njoku, but this is a team that had Jordan Akins a year ago as the number 2 tight end. He was 4th on the team with 40 catches. So now Fannin steps into that role. And Stefanski, yeah, they were in like 72% of the time or something like that in three receiver sets. But maybe it was just because they didn't have the personnel. And I think Stefanski will try to be a little bit more loose with the 12 personnel, giving Njoku some breathers. I don't know. I think Fannin's got a chance to be. I'm not saying he's not going to have a monster rookie year, but getting him as the third pick here and as a third through round 3 through round 5 guy, I feel really good about. Then I got Go ahead.
Hold on. Fannin had 11 for 137 and a touchdown against Penn State, and then 2 weeks later, caught 8 for 145 and a touchdown against Texas A&M. The other thing I will just say this quickly about that landing spot too. I love the Stefanski thing. One of the surprises for me with the Browns was they weren't aggressive about addressing the wide receiver position in the draft. I mean, they need pass catchers.
He becomes a slot.
Exactly. They don't have a ton. They have Jerry Jeudy on the outside and then a couple, like some bodies. So I think when you're looking at that, it makes sense that they go more 12, that they get Fannin involved a lot.
He's a big slot.
I agree.
You know,
and you can run split zone with him where he comes across the formation and blocks a linebacker. Or, you can use him as a move blocker. But I think you're right. He's essentially a big slot receiver.
Well, he looked great. Him and Chief are going to be fun to watch. Do you refer to it as Bowling Green or Bowling Green State University?
BG. Like, I get it. Bowling Green State University. It's BG. It's
never
Green.
BGSU. It's
No, not.
I don't ever.
Maybe the suits refer to it as that. I do not.
Do people call it Kent State or do people just call it Kent?
I think it's Kent State.
Is it?
G-Man would know that.
He would know. Yeah. If it's how it's.
I think it's Kent State.
Yeah. Ohio is OU.
Yeah.
I never hear anybody call it Ohio. It's always OU. Yeah.
Yeah, that's no. It BGSU, great. Outside of my Twitter handle.
We'll play. That's right. We'll play a little higher, lower, or just right on the AFC side of the total win predictions from our great friend Cynthia Freeland. That is coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Mailbag coming up in about 10 minutes. Get your questions into Gibbe at Browns_daily, and we will tackle those in about 10 or so minutes from now. Elk and Elk, serious lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for your free case review. Elk and Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time for a little higher, lower, or just right. AFC win totals. We did this yesterday in the NFC from our great friend, the NFL Network and Browns contributor, Cynthia Freeland. Hello, Gibbe.
Hi. I'm just doing a quick little research here. Yep, I did have that right. We'll kick things off with a few of these AFC teams. Now, remember, the numbers are a little different because she did like 272 simulations of the schedule.
Yep.
So based on her estimate is who would be on the 53-man roster.
Okay.
Factoring in some injuries and other things as well.
Do I want to know where she has us?
You definitely have to scroll to the bottom.
Really? Dead last?
Dead last. 5.6.
We're going over that.
I would like to think so.
We're going over that. We're more than three games better than
need
last
us
year.
To. I can't. Please.
I mean,
don't
I'm
be
not.
Lower.
I
think she's generous with all of these, by the way.
Yeah. To me, like the very highest ceiling, like everything goes perfect. One of the young guys cruises at quarterback, and away you go. It's 10-7. The schedule is so brutal, but I also don't see the floor at like 4.
You have a top 10 defense.
Yeah, and you got two great weapons at running back. You got a really good running back room, good tight ends. You got a good offensive line. If you get competent quarterback play, you should be somewhere between 6 and 10 wins.
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
The team in the AFC that she has projected to win the most games is also the team she projects to win the most games in the NFL in 2025, and that would be the Baltimore Ravens at 11.6. Higher, lower, or just right for said Ratbirds.
All right. I'm going to do the schedule game for the Ratbirds. At Bills.
On Sunday night.
Sunday night. That's how they start.
Yeah.
I'm going to say L. Just the home field of it all. So let's go L. Us at home would be a tough one for us, so we'll go dub. Lions at home, dub. At Chiefs, let's go L. Texans at home, dub. Rams at home, dub. Bears at home, dub. At Dolphins, at Vikings, at Browns. Let's say they go 2-1 in that stretch. Jets, Bengals, Steelers, all at home. Another 2-1 in that stretch. And then they finish at Bengals, Patriots at home, at Packers, at Steelers. 2-2 in that stretch.
2-2.
And you're 11-6. I think under.
I think you would take the under, but the under would be 11.
Yeah, but that does it.
In the division, that's
yeah. That does it. I go under on them. I got them 11-6.
Yeah. Next.
Higher or lower?
The second team in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills at 11.4. Higher, lower, or just right. So basically she's got the win percentage of the Ravens, Bills, and Chiefs higher than the number one team in the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, I mean, I just gave them – this is their schedule. I gave them Ravens as a win. At Jets, win. Dolphins at home, win. Saints at home, win. Patriots at home, win. At Falcons, win.
Gutless Falcons.
Versus Chiefs. I mean, okay, so let's say that's an L. At Dolphins, win. I mean, their schedule
They're going to chalk
easy.
up a lot of wins in the AFC East.
Dude, and they match up with the NFC South.
Yeah.
Bucks win. Texans win. And then they finish Bengals, Patriots, Browns, Eagles, Jets. They're going to go at worst 3-2 in that. Yeah, they're 14-3, 13-4.
Could the road actually go through Buffalo?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it will. Yeah, over.
Yeah. Let's see. The Bills are favored in all 17 games.
There you go.
This year.
There you go.
Even without taking a wide receiver.
Yep.
Which makes their GM bristle, but who cares? Next.
Higher or lower?
I mentioned the Chiefs 11.2. I feel like 10-7 might win the AFC West if everybody plays up to their expectations.
Dude, they were 15-2 last year. Kansas City was.
I still don't know how, because
15-2.
every week it just looked like a grind to win games and score points.
I mean, they match up with the AFC South and the NFC East are the teams they play. I still think they're, 12-5 does it. So I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over with Kansas City.
Denver was 9.5. They were 4th. The Chargers 5th at 9.3. It takes us to number 6. And the Cincinnati Bengals down in northern Kentucky, 9.1 for the Bengals.
They'll go 10-7.
Are we sure? Are we sure the defense is not
I don't know
that give up 40 when they score 39?
Their defense will be better than it was last year. They used all their picks on defense. They'll figure out the Hendrickson thing. Their defense will be better. Last year, if they don't sleepwalk for the first month, nobody would have wanted to play them. So they're going to they play a third-place record, a schedule. Yeah, I think they're 10-7, 11-6, somewhere in there.
So as long as they don't get on track till week 2.
Yeah.
Then
I think we're going to beat them in the opener.
I think there's a chance.
But I think they're over 9.1.
Their big stretch is week 4 at Denver on Monday night, week 5 at home against the Lions, and at the Packers in week 6.
Buddy, they got a stretch. This is it. November 27th, at Baltimore, at Buffalo, Baltimore at home.
Whew.
Right? Yeah.
They get 2 weeks.
Yep.
Between
that's three games and Baltimore twice in a 3-week period.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Next.
Higher or lower?
We got to scroll down a little bit to get to the Pukers at 8.3. That would mean that they would have a losing record for the first time in the history of Mike Tomlin.
I mean,
if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come, I would say take the under.
I would say, my head says they won't win 8 games as they stand right now, but I also think you'd be an idiot to bet the under because all they do is win 9 or more.
Exactly.
So, somehow, smoke and mirrors, worst case, they go 9-8. So, you'd be a fool to take the under.
Yeah.
He's never done it. So, they'll go 9-8 or 10-7, one of the two.
Yep. Nope. I would agree. You don't go against them, unfortunately.
Last year Baltimore won the division at 12-5. Pittsburgh was 10-7, and Cincinnati was 9-8. That's how it shook out last year.
Next.
Higher or lower?
The Patriots and new head coach Mike Vrabel, 8. 8 wins. Higher, lower, or just right?
I love Vrabes, and I think Drake May's fine, but I don't see that team winning 9 games. I don't. I don't think they're going to pass the Dolphins in the division. I don't think they're quite ready for that.
I don't know what the Dolphins are. The Dolphins have a generous win total. Their win total is 8.3.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins a little more than the Patriots. I'm going to go under on this. Feels like 7-10 year one for Braves.
I would agree. Next.
Higher or lower?
Jags at 7.7, Colts at 7.6, Raiders 7.4. The only team ahead of us directly is Tennessee at 5.8, and then there's the Jets.
Tennessee, that she has getting more wins than us?
5.8 compared to 5.6. Come on.
Oh, jeez.
And I think it has everything to do with the quarterback controversy. And in Tennessee, she's like, they at least know who their quarterback is.
I don't think we have a quarterback controversy. I think we have a quarterback open contest. Is what I think we have. I think it's two very different things.
Once it's settled, I expect it to
competition. A quarterback controversy is when there is agenda. There is no agenda here. The best man wins is going to win. Is probably the way it's going to go. Jets over 6?
6.2.
They were 5-12 last year.
Are the Jets better than the Patriots?
I think they're right. I think they're under because 6 would get me under. I think they're 6-11. I think the Patriots are slightly better, but I think both those teams aren't great. So I'm going to go slightly under. And I think Fields is actually the perfect quarterback for where they are because he'll be fun. Their games will be entertaining. He'll make some big plays, but he's not good enough to capitalize on all of the things that'll be out there, so they will win. They'll lose a lot of close, high-scoring games. So I like the under on that for the Jets.
So no respect for our guys, but you got to go earn it.
Yeah, that's a low number. We'll hit the mailbag coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Well, we've done it. It's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
Time to open up that mailbag, Gibby.
Absolutely. Tweet us your questions to @Browns_daily.
Let's go. What, a lot of them.
Jersey Dog 17 any kicker competition for Dustin, or is he locked in at the kicker position?
They'll bring in another one.
I'm assuming they would bring in someone else.
Yeah. You always bring in two, but I mean, it would be pretty shocking if it wasn't D-Hop.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that there's a second punter in here right now, so.
Yeah. You got to have two of them.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Joe tweets at the show at J_Ross_85.
Okay.
Assuming Miles gets to eat quarterbacks this year with the addition of Mason and Carson, which of those two, Carson or Mason, will have the most impact defending the run?
It better be Mason.
Yeah. Point of attack.
I think Mason Graham is someone who, if you watch the All-22, it will be really apparent, his value. But in games, sometimes you might not see it. You almost have to know what you're looking for. I do think that Carson Schlesinger is going to be a stud. And I think he'll be a fan favorite right away. And I think that he'll be somebody who makes a lot of noticeable plays. He's bigger than I thought. Like when I saw him at rookie minicamp, that jumped out to me, like how big he was. And you saw Tarv glow when we talked about him. So I think he's gonna be ready to go.
Yeah, I agree. Browns backers, North Jersey.
Our guys.
If you could add a fictional character to the Browns' current roster, who would it be?
It'd be hard to beat Willie Beeman any given Sunday.
I like that.
I mean, is he the best? Is Willie Beeman the best fictional quarterback? I mean,
stand by.
He's better than Shane Falco.
We sure about that? It's Falco.
Shane Falco was a replacement, Gibbe. Wasn't even in the league. He's better than Johnny Utah, who blew out his knee in the Rose Bowl for Ohio State and ended up taking out bank robbers dressed as ex-presidents.
Great. Unbelievably good movie.
Yeah. He's better than Jonathan Moxon. Now,
I'm not
Lance
sure I agree with you
Harbor.
on the Falco thing.
Yeah, he's better than Falco. Willie Beeman's better than Falco. Now,
Uncle Rico.
Lance Harbor was a 5-star.
Going to Florida State
on a full ride. He lost his ride to Florida State, which a knee injury ends his whole operation.
Everything. And the operation was
It's a good operation for him, yeah. I'm sure he could have just gotten a little surgery and he still could have went to Florida State. They probably still would have taken him. Vince Howard, late seasons of Friday Night Lights was pretty good, but Vince Howard is basically just Willie Beeman before he was Willie Beeman. Who am I missing? Paul Crew.
Paul Crew
is in the mix. Fictional quarterbacks. Who's my guy from the program? Why am I blanking? How am I blanking on the guy? Oh, Kane is able.
Yes.
Yeah. Kane, Joe Kane from the program. No, I feel like it's Willie Beeman. I think Willie Beeman's the one.
I think Flacco's a solid runner.
He's an all-pro. He's the backup in Miami with the Sharks, but they basically just need an injury to Joe Cap. Once that happens, then he elevates, and then he kind of takes the NFL by storm and signs that big deal in New Mexico. So I think it's Willie Beeman.
All right.
Very good question. Browns backers in North Jersey. It is not Tony Soprano because, as Junior Soprano once said, you never had the makings of a varsity athlete.
He had to go back into therapy for that.
Had to, yeah.
Love a Dog today. Do you think they'll ever expand the international games to include domestic neutral sites like college stadiums? Can you imagine the Browns playing in the Horseshoe?
I can, because I saw him practice there.
We did with Terrell Pryor.
I know. I saw me do it. No. There just isn't enough of a get back for the NFL teams to take one. This league is so. We keep getting bigger and bigger. We're going to 18 games, and that's coming, but it's still 8 or 9 games, so you can't risk losing one of those to to go on the road. On a one-off, do I think it would be cool, for example, for like the Browns and the Bengals to play at the Horseshoe? Yeah, that would be pretty cool to do. That would be very cool to do like a Battle of Ohio down in Columbus. I think it would be
or
very
like
cool.
Browns Lions at the Big House.
Yeah, there you go. Browns Lions at Big House would be very cool. Yeah, I mean, I think those things would be cool, but I just don't think NFL teams would ever do it.
I think you could make an argument because they used to do it. Deke talks about it. Doing it in the preseason. I think that'd be a nice little spin-off.
Yeah. I mean, the NBA did that. They still do that a lot. Like, they'll go on campuses and stuff for it. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be kind of cool to play a preseason game at the Shoe.
Once the schedule goes to 18, everybody's going to have an overseas game every year.
Yeah, that's coming. I
think that.
I don't know if it's working. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it leads to a great deal more in terms of merchandise sales, or is there more interest in streaming NFL games in Europe than there was? Is that because they're playing games over there? Doesn't matter. It's funny. I had somebody say, well, the Premier League comes over here and plays, like those big European soccer clubs come over here and play in the summer. And they said it's actually their preseason though. They don't you don't see Real Madrid play Barcelona
when it
matters. At the Meadowlands. I mean, you don't do that. So it's their ramp up. It's their summer tour. It's not like when the games actually matter.
Correct. Darren, I don't know how to answer this. Bo, did you establish? I know how to answer it. I just have to answer it politically correct.
All right.
Bo, did you establish the quote First Friday idea as an incentive to cut down on drinking? No. I'm trying.
No.
No. Darren's trying to get. He says he's trying to get sober or at least cut Wade back. Which
so
I appreciate.
Unfortunately, I appreciate that too, and good luck on your journey.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of fun talking about having a cocktail, but in moderation, obviously. And no, actually, unfortunately, for what I think your intent was, it was exactly the opposite. So the reason that we did First Friday is I was looking for an excuse. When I had just moved to Florida, and I was looking for every other night there was something.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Mondays you went here, Tuesdays you went here, Thursdays. There's nothing on Wednesdays. And I always hated the spelling of Wednesday, and I don't like the sound of hump day. I thought that was lame. So what I did was, and it was the two local television stations, I'm like, let's do First Friday. And the idea being that you treat Wednesday like Friday. You go out on the town, have a good time, howl at the moon, whatever you want to do. And then worst case scenario, even if you go too hard, it's just a Thursday and then you're back to another Friday.
Yeah.
So it was more of a mindset thing to, hey, I'm done with the week. It's First Friday. Easy. Is kind of what it was about. And quite honestly, we have a lot of fun with it, but quite honestly, mentally for me, it's something I use every week. It's just become part of my life. Like when I get to Wednesday and when the Wednesday show is done, I'm like, let's go, baby. Week's whipped.
Yeah.
So
we're
there. That's kind of where it came from. But no, I did not use it to curb it was the other.
It was quite the opposite.
It was to find another reason.
Yeah. Darren tweets at the show, how do golf club memberships typically work? I hear you guys talking about it all the time. Do you still have to pay when you go play each time? What's the biggest benefit of being part of a club? Yes, you still have to pay when you go.
Carts. Got to pay carts.
Yeah.
Got to pay a cart fee typically. The biggest advantage is tee times and quick rounds.
People not in front of you.
People not in front of you, behind you. It's, hey, I got a crazy hair. Let me sneak out at 4:30 on a Saturday with the boys and go to the club and there's nobody there and you zip around and you play, 9 holes in an hour and 20 minutes. I mean, that's the benefit of it. Usually the courses are better manicured, although we have some incredible public tracks around here.
Yeah.
Really incredible. Some of the Metro Park tracks are unreal, and a lot of the public golf here is really awesome. But that's really the benefit of it. But no, you still have to pay a bunch a month, and then you pay for the cart fee as well.
And you got to spend X amount on food and beverage.
Yep.
A lot of times
Yep.
with a lot of places.
Yep.
Dog Pound Cleveland Brown, have either of you ever been to Put-in-Bay Island in Ohio? I want to go this summer, but don't know much about it. I'm in New York, about 4 hours from Put-in-Bay.
Gibbe spent a month one night in Put-in-Bay.
Boy, felt like a month.
I've never gone as a freewheeling single dude. So Amy and I would go. We have a condo up there, And so we would go, not at Put-in-Bay, but in Catawba, Port Clinton area. And we would, before we had the boys, we would go over there and like have dinner. But we would always get out before the witching hour, always.
Twitter.
And then I've taken the boys. I also did not, I wanted to live. You know, I didn't need to fight somebody over my wife. So I had no interest in that. But then I've taken the boys, and it's really fun like during the day with the boys. But I've not done like a single freewheeling, mingling Put-in-Bay. I think it defies logic. It's in Ohio. Like when you get there, you do not feel like you're in Ohio at all.
Not
really,
at all.
everything up there doesn't. It all
Correct.
feels like New England to me.
Yeah.
But that especially.
It's worth the trip. I would say that. There's Airbnbs, whether it's on the island or whether it's on the mainland, like Bo mentioned, Catawba or Sandusky, where you can just hop on the Jet Express and you can be over there in 10, 12 minutes and on the island. I would also tell you this. Put-in-Bay is a great time.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a lot of fun. Maybe I'm a little too old for that now.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of Kelly's Eye.
Kelly's is awesome.
That's a good food.
Yeah.
Got some wineries. There's
Yeah.
a great Mexican joint on there.
It's come, we were up there a lot more before the boys got so active. We would almost go up every weekend. But between Catawba, Sandusky, Cedar Point, Kelly's,
Vermilion.
Put-in-Bay, Vermilion, there's a lot to do and recreate. And I think sometimes, I think maybe the state didn't do a great job of making folks outside of Ohio aware of it, because I mean, I didn't grow up here, obviously, and I had no idea about any of it. I had heard of Cedar Point, but I had no idea the scope of it. And then when my wife first took me up there, almost 20 years ago now, I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, it's so great,
Yeah.
But it's something that I don't know that the state did a great job of getting the word out on it.
No. The islands, again, you don't feel like you're in the state of Ohio.
No.
It's awesome. It's worth, I would recommend it highly.
I love that Cedar Point and then Islands weekend.
Yep.
That's a really good weekend.
From JC Hibbs. That is not my
JC.
burner account. What is your favorite episode of any TV show? Mine is episode 2, season 2 of Last of Us. The best episode of any TV show.
Pine Barrens, Sopranos would be way up there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Sopranos is top of mind right now.
I mean, the competition in Seinfeld contest.
There's a lot of good ones.
There's
in
a
that.
lot of, if you're looking
Black
for
Swan,
single episodes.
Black Swan on Curb is pretty unbelievable. I think the pilot of Deadwood is perfect. I think it's absolutely perfect of setting the tone of that show. There's a lot. I admittedly am skewed by the way Game of Thrones ended, but like Battle of the Blackwater is unbelievable. Battle of the Bastards is unbelievable. I mean, there's 15 Game of Thrones. Succession's had some great ones too, some great episodes that kind of stand alone.
Real quick, Richie Fox had actually messaged us yesterday. Do you have any weekly routines that you practice? Every Thursday I get takeout from our favorite local spot, enjoy a tall bev while it's being prepared. Madison Street Tavern in Tiffin, Ohio.
Good for him.
Been to basketball camp in Tiffin, Ohio.
Yeah. Heidelberg and Tiffin there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Richie, you'd be shocked that basically my whole life is a routine. As you can probably attest doing this job, like, you kind of relive the same day every day.
Yep.
It's different content, but it's the same rhythm every day. I get up at the same time.
Yep.
I take a shower at the same time. I take the kid to school at the same time. I do the morning show at the same time. Do this at the same time. Do the same thing after. Like, it's the same.
I do love a
really
Taco
is.
Thursday. I don't subscribe to Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
I like the Thursday.
That just because you don't like LeBron?
No, because I'm one day, like, it's the weekend. It's the official start of the weekend.
Yeah, I like that too.
If I can make it happen. But again, the routine sometimes prohibits the Taco Thursday. But otherwise, yeah, it's the same thing every day.
It really is. I mean, it's a different. What I love about this job, though, is that what you're going to do changes every day.
Yes.
It doesn't continue, but the routine of it is very much there.
Yeah.
It's very much there. So much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. All right, there you go, kids. Next weekend's not Memorial Day, is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, 1 week from now, we will be getting ready for the holiday weekend. And that goes right into the Memorial then.
Yeah, next week's Memorial down in Columbus. That is wild.
I know.
May's going to go, baby. It's going to go.
It's already gone.
Yeah, it is. We're halfway home. Not great.
I don't like this. This is the part I don't like.
How quickly?
Yeah. Like, I've had a nice little time. Like, we don't need – why can we slow this down? Can we speed up January, February, and March?
Well, the next week, based on the weather's not gonna give you many advantages for that. So
no.
Use today, kids, if you can. Enjoy your afternoon. Enjoy your weekend. We are back Monday with Tales from Naked and Afraid with Nathan Zagura from the Wisconsin wilderness.
Hope that he's outside.
Last time I texted him, I said, just be safe. Be safe. Be safe, buddy. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. The next level is coming up next. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.